In Clubland news, the swap that's been talked about for a while between the Sharks and the Panthers swapping James Maloney and Matt Moylan has finally occurred this week. Matt Moylan obviously having some pretty significant issues with the coach out there and deciding he wanted to leave, and the Sharks getting rid of Maloney to incorporate him. Now, good trade for who?
I mean, it's a decent trade for both teams, really. So Moylan is definitely the future of NRL in general, not just for the Sharks. So the Sharks are looking more long-term. Maloney's probably at the pointy end of his career. Obviously, his leadership skills is what Penrith might have been lacking. Now, obviously, there was a lot of turmoil with Moylan and Griffin. You want the players to be happy. You don't want a bloke around the dressing room that's going to be kicking stones. There's no point in keeping him at the club. I know Penrith probably wanted to keep him and try and sort it all out. But once you get that sort of voice or that little voice in your head that you don't like the place, you let them go. Otherwise, they become poison within the group.
Well, this on the basis of that, this has got a bit of the smell of Mitchell Pearce about it, doesn't it? Like if Pearce is unhappy at the Roosters, it's the same sort of thing. Moylan, they've obviously let him go.
There was rumbles at Penrith all year that he wasn't happy and he was having dramas with Griffin. And it's not the first time players had dramas with Griffin. You know, so if this happens in the next couple of years where players start wanting to leave Penrith, you've got to start looking at the coach. You know, Moylan is a born and bred Penrith kid. He would have loved to have played for Penrith for the rest of his career, but something's happened. You know, and obviously he wasn't happy there. He wasn't happy with the coach, so he wanted to leave. I mean, obviously, I don't know what position he is yet, whether he's 5'8" or fullback. You know, or centre.
You mean for the club or his best position?
Or just his best position, because he's been getting stuffed around at fullback and 5'8", so he hasn't had a genuine position. You know,
where would you play?
I play fullback. Right. But then he's going to go to Cronulla and he's going to play 5'8".
You reckon?
100%. He's not going to play fullback. Valentine Holmes is there.
Yeah.
You know, so Maloney is your quick fix. He's a winner. He goes to clubs and he just wins comps in about 2 years. So they're going to look at him. He'll come in there. He'll be getting into them big boys like Reed and Cam, Gillard and Tarmow and all these sort of guys and get that club running. You know, because he's a winner. And I think they've made the best decision for them to win in the next 2 years, because they've been sitting in the top 4, top 6 position, but they've just been missing out. They just missed something. So I think with him going there, it's a better move for Penrith, but long term, Cronulla wins.
Yeah, I think in both scenarios, both players are happy. Maloney probably got paid accordingly, and Moylan's out of a club that he doesn't want to be at. So it hasn't been too ugly. It's been a fair swap. I know Flano and I think maybe Gus sat down and laid it all out on the table.
You just don't want a kid who's unhappy. You know, Moylan would just went, I'm not happy here, I'm not happy with the coach. It's not like he's not happy with Penrith. He's just unhappy with the coach.
It's just business at the end of the day. You'd like to see these kids play for their clubs, their junior clubs, for the rest of their career, but
it doesn't happen. It's
business.
You just don't want to see a young kid like that, his career being ruined just by being unhappy. You know, just get him happy, make him play his best football. You play your best football when you are happy. Hopefully he plays his best football with Cronulla, and everyone wins.
There's been a lot of player movement. I don't know, it happens every year obviously, but it just seems like this off-season, you've had the Pearce Cronk thing, there's this now, there's the rumours obviously that Jared Hayne's unhappy at the Titans, he wants to move to a Sydney club. You know, it's I mean, it keeps the game in the press obviously,
but
maybe...
It's relevant, it's like a fucking soap opera.
Well, I mean, if you're a fan, you get annoyed, but being in the rugby league environment for a long period of time, I understand what's going on. You understand what's going on. It's business. There's no loyalty anymore. Yeah. It's all about how much money you can make in a short period of your life. You know, rugby league is only a fraction of your life. So you need to make the most money you can within, you know, some players don't get to pay 10, 15 years.
If you think there's loyalty in the game, have a look what's happening to Mitchell Pearce. Yeah. And then shut your mouth. Yeah. That's it. You think there's loyalty? There's no loyalty. It's just whatever's best for you and your family at that time in your career.
Or best for a club.
Or best for your club, or best for whatever. But usually it's just best for yourself.
It just sucks the fans.
Because at the end of the day, you have to look in the mirror and be happy with yourself.
You can understand though, hearing that, why some of the older players that play for nothing. I know you've got strong opinions on that, but they would hear that and go, "Well, I played for that club for no money, for the love of the jersey and that sort of thing." So there is a transition.
They did that. Yeah, that's it. That's what they did. They lived and breathed for that jersey, and you can understand why the older players come out and say, "We did this. We should stay this club." But times change.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you can't change with the times, then you're stuck in the 80s.
Yeah.
You know, but you can understand why them guys come out and say, you know, you should have stuck with this, you should have stuck here, you should never left Parramatta, you should have left the Bulldogs, blah, 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 blah. It's just not the way it is now. You know, so they should understand that. And most of them do. There's just a minority. They're the ones that get the microphone put in their face. Oh, what's your opinion on that? And they'll hammer the blokes. They'll hammer us. They'll hammer the new generation.
Yeah.
But most of them, you put a microphone in front of Ronnie Coote or Bob McCarthy. They're that happy for the players these days that are getting paid money and going to different places and making them happy. You know, it's the difference, you know. It's just like whatever microphone you stick in someone's face, if you're a bitter old player, you're going to bag the players now. If you're sitting on a $5 million property, not giving a shit, drinking your red wine, you're not going to bag us because you've done well in the game. You've played your part. We've played our part. Now it's time for the next generation to play their part. And that's it. That's the way the game goes.
I think the best thing about this, as you said, Ren, is that it's amicable and it looks like both players are happy and everyone can just move on.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's been a bit of talk in the last few days about a hybrid game between the famous New Zealand All Blacks and the Australian Kangaroos rugby league team. Now, there's been talk about this in the past, but now there's finally some money figures being thrown around and the money is enormous. Will the money be enough to get this game off the ground?
No. I think it's fun. It's a fun idea to think about. No. Look, I mean, the All Blacks are the best sporting team in the world. How's Australia going to win a line-out or a ruck? The All Blacks could run through them. It won't even be a competition. I get it that there's money and people might want to see it. I don't think there's enough support behind it to want to see it. And who's going to let their star players play in a fun match?
$50 million.
It's a good thought.
This is what I think, honestly.
Who gets the $50 million?
Like
10 million.
I look at that guy behind us there.
Yeah.
He knows everything about rugby league. And he won't. You don't think that he would tell everybody what's going to happen?
Having said that, it's on the back of that. The All Blacks used to come to Canterbury games. Yeah, they love rugby league, so they know the game.
So have a look how the All Blacks are structured now. They do these crossfield kicks. All their type 5 pass the ball nice and short, like NRL forwards do. They do everything. They've taken little intricacies out of our game, and they've put it into the rugby union format. And they're carving teams up because the type 5 in normal teams don't even know how to catch a ball other than a line out. You know what I mean? But they're playing football. Like they're the 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5. They can play football. Let alone the locks and all that kind of stuff. 6, 7, 8. They're as big as me. They can run the ball. Their back line is sharp as hell. SBW is going to be sitting in the centres telling everybody how to defend, what's going to happen, and we're not that good anymore. Jonathan Thurston won't be playing, Cameron Smith won't be playing, Greg Inglis won't be playing, Billy Slater won't be playing. We've been hanging our hats on them for the last 10 years. This game won't happen for another 2.
Well, what they're talking about, and again, this is all just talk, and we're talking about it, and it's fun, as Ren said, it's a fun thing to talk about, but they're talking about the 2019 World Cup is in Tokyo, and the rumour is that the All Blacks have said there's a 2-week window or a 1-month window where we're willing to play that game in Tokyo. So it would be after the World Cup, which the New Zealanders will probably win. They'd still probably be drunk, to be fair. But I just think the way they would play the game is it would be 13 aside. It's rugby league to halfway and then rugby union from that way onwards.
Very confusing, isn't it?
Look, it would be when you're playing. You'd have to... I just don't know if it... I don't think it'll happen.
How do you referee it? You get one ref in one half and the other.
Well, you'd probably have a league ref in one half and a union ref in the other.
Bill Harrigan's going to come back.
He would.
Yeah.
Hollywood.
Look, I agree. I think if that game was to happen, the All Blacks just flog them.
They're bigger and stronger than us with skill. Now, if you played this game 15 years ago, totally different outcome.
Because you were playing?
No, just because I think we had a lot better players. Brad Fittler would have been playing, Andrew Johns would have been playing, Darren Lockyer, Wendell Saylor, Lottie Takiri, all these sort of blokes, Brad Thorne,
a lot bigger guys too.
Gordon Tallis, all these bigger guys, you know what I mean? Because they tossed this up about 15 years ago. And I think the All Blacks were going, no, we're not going to play that. Because I don't think they were that dominant as they were now.
No.
And I don't think the All Blacks will put their brand against some bullshit little gimmick like this. You know what I mean? All Black is a brand, man. All Black is a brand. It's one of the biggest brands in sports. You know what I mean? It's up there with the Yankees and all that kind of stuff. So they're going to put their brand against Kangaroos.
How is this different from Mayweather fighting McGregor?
Well, everyone's trying to do this hybrid crap.
That's what I mean.
Like how much money? They're tossing up $50 million. How much money is the players going to get?
10 million, I reckon. 10 million each.
10 million each.
10 million to each team.
Well, that's just all.
Would you consider playing for?
I just don't think it's going to happen. It's a great concept, but I just don't think New Zealand could be bothered. I think the NRL would be the Kangaroos would be pushing it because it's great to play against the All Blacks and all this kind of stuff. Put them on the world map because the Kangaroos aren't a world team. The All Blacks are massive. I just don't think it'll happen. I think the All Blacks are just going to piss off.
It would be good to know who had bragging rights. You know, if Australia were to beat them in rugby league or the hybrid game, you know, we could sit back and go, yeah, we're better than rugby union. We've got better athletes, but there's too much red tape.
I think 15 years ago we were better athletes. Now look at this All Black side and just go, they are way better athletes.
Absolute
They're
animals.
6'5", 6'6" animals. You know what I mean? Like Jerome Kano and all these sort of guys. They're just coming off the productive lines and bang, next bloke, next 6'5" winger who can run 11 seconds, who's massive. He's going to be put there in the centres. A Sonny Bill. All these guys are just coming off a productive line. It's ridiculous.
The problem the Australians, the league sides would have is once it got over the halfway line and they were having to attack and they've got to start rushing, they've got to start actually learning how to do rucks. Every single ruck, there's an All Black still on the ball. You know, so I don't think that there's any. They're both amazing sides for athletes.
Try and push Sam Cane off the ball.
Different. Yeah, it's not happening.
No,
it's not.
But I just think it'd be a great concept, great to talk about. It's never going to happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, I want to give a quick shout out to the RLPA for a massive deal, $980 million over 5 years, putting their money into schools, depression, mental health, all that kind of stuff. So good work, Clint Newton, Mick Crocker, all the boys down there, mate. Unreal stuff. Well done.